Hi guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome to UConn for another one of my tinfoil hat cartoon conspiracy theories, where I shall be reviewing one of the best well-known cartoon shows of all time, Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo first graced our television screens as far back as 1969 during the hippie craze, and you can see a lot of hippie elements within the show, such as the bright colours on the mystery ink wagon, and the fact that Shaggy always comes across stoned and unwashed, but also a very peaceful person who doesn't want to engage in conflict with anyone and always flees when he's placed in a difficult situation, such as when he's being chased by what he's believed to be a ghost or a monster of some kind. The conspiracy theory surrounding Scooby-Doo is interesting and was one I wanted to review as soon as I heard about it. It begins with Shaggy Rogers, who is a real late 60s, early 70s hippie who was avoiding the draft for the war in Vietnam, which was happening from 1955 to 1975, so it had already been happening for almost 15 years by the time the show was first broadcasted. The theory states that Shaggy has gone on the run from the draft in his hippie van with his Great Dane Scooby to avoid the authorities, and lives and sleeps in the van so he isn't registered at living at any address, so the police don't know where to find him. The reason he talks to his dog regularly is because he is constantly smoking pot all the time, to the point he thinks he's having a conversation with his dog, when actually his dog is probably just barking or making a dog noise of some kind. And on his travels, he meets three college students, Fred, Velma and Daphne. Fred, like Shaggy, is also dodging the draft, which is why he joins him, and Daphne is Fred's girlfriend who has run away with Fred so they can be together. And Velma is a far left-wing student who opposes the war in Vietnam, which is why she's travelling with Fred and Daphne and probably supports the fact that Fred and Shaggy are dodging the draft. So as Shaggy finds common ground with Fred and is quite a chilled out and relaxed sort of guy, they join him on his travels and he lets them live in the van with him. The three of them all look and come across reasonably well educated and perhaps even middle class, judging by their smart clothes, as opposed to Shaggy, who seems quite poor, probably doesn't have a job, and more likely spends most of his time getting high. Velma has quite an intelligent look about her with the glasses and has the look of what a college girl in the US would have looked like during the late 1960s, early 70s, with the short haircut, the skirt and the orange sweater. And as Shaggy is very different from the rest of the gang, he usually goes off on his own with his dog, and the other three stick together because they knew each other beforehand and have more of a common interest because it is likely they are or were at college together and have the same political views about the war happening in Vietnam. However, if you notice in nearly every episode of the show, whenever the gang go to a place, they often split up. Fred, Daphne and Velma go off together and Shaggy and Scooby go off somewhere else. The reason for this is that they are not actually a group of friends. They are just travelling because it's convenient for them to be together because they are all mostly on the run for the same reason. In the same sense as when you do a house share with someone or when you have a roommate at college, you are not necessarily always friends with them. You are just sharing a house or a room with them because it's what's necessary at the time. In addition, if you notice a lot of places that they go to, it often, if not always, turns out that there is not a ghost or a monster, and that it's just a janitor or an ex-business owner dressed up as a ghost. The reason for this is because the show is set during an economic recession and a lot of businesses have gone bust for various reasons, such as men going up to fight for the war in Vietnam, resulting in places being understaffed and people also having less money to spend in general because of increase in taxes as a result of military funding by the government, and as a result it's left people unemployed or having to take low paid jobs such as janitors, and as a result they become con artists and gone crazy by dressing up as monsters as a way of just scamming and stealing from people as they are unable to make an honest living anymore. And as Shaggy is always stoned and often under the influence of drugs in general, he is easily fooled by the con men and believes he's being chased by ghosts and monsters, which is why he always runs away from them, and as Scooby is his dog, he always follows Shaggy and becomes excited or agitated by whatever Shaggy does, which is more the reason Scooby gets scared, rather than the fact that he's been confronted by a ghost or a monster of some kind, as dogs generally do follow their owners. I enjoyed reviewing this theory. I don't think there's much truth in it, although the show was released during the Vietnam War. Hannah Barbera seems like the last production company to be giving out any political messages of any kind. On the contrary, the gang never discussed the war or have any political discussions. And although it's true that the villains in this show really turn out to be real monsters, there was never any backstory to it other than the fact that they are very angry, bitter people. So I don't think it's true, and for that reason I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Thanks for watching this video on tinfoil hat cards conspiracy theories. If you enjoyed watching this video, I will be doing another one on Star Wars if you want to check that out. But that's all for today, and once again, thanks for tuning into Yukon.